Did you know that there's over 19 million acres of forest land in Arkansas and over 150 different species of trees? Forestry is really important for Arkansas, and at any given time in the state, no matter where you are, you're usually surrounded by at least 10 different species of trees. I was taught from a young age how to identify trees. My family was very involved in the logging industry whenever I was young. My grandfather owned his own logging truck and contracted his own logging company. Forests in Arkansas are very diverse. We have a lot of hardwood forest, the most numerous of which is oaks. There's 31 species found in Arkansas, and 29 of these are native. This is a white oak leaf. These both are. They're little baby leaves. A lot of the red oaks look just like this, except for they have pointy margins instead of smooth margins. We also have a lot of maple trees. There's 9 native, but 10 species in all. And then there's also an abundance of hickory trees, and all 10 species of hickory are native to Arkansas. There are many types of plum trees, cherries, hawthorns, elms, and magnolias. There's also many ashes. The elms are actually very prolific where I'm at. Most of my property is covered with oak and elm and hickory. We have a ton of hickory trees, which is good because guess what? The acorns and the hickory nuts feed the deer and the rabbits and anything else that might be hungry. There's also a lot of walnut trees and pecan trees grown in the south. We have a few evergreen species. The most common would probably be the eastern red cedar. They're very prickly. They smell really good whenever you cut them. And these are their little berries that they put off in this time of year. They're very well known for their pink and red wood. A lot of people use it for furniture or for like old cedar chest. We have it in our house as trim that came off of our property. One that is not as common, but is still around here quite a bit, is a bald cypress. It has little bitty prickles right here, and they're very unique, and they get very, very large. There is one by the Nashville Hospital, and it is huge and beautiful. We have a few different types of pine. The most common type of pine around here is, of course, loblolly pine. It's found pretty much everywhere that they have farm pine trees. That is the main species that Weyerhaeuser uses and other companies use for wood production. They make great telephone poles, fence posts, and good lumber. There are a few other types of trees that don't really fit into those, and some are ornamental and some are native, but there are a few invasive species that were introduced for various reasons, and now they are considered a nuisance. Flowering dogwoods are very common. Most people know what they are. They are a great ornamental tree, and many people use them in their landscaping and in their yards. They're usually one of the best sellers around this area. An invasive species that is now deemed as very, very dangerous because it takes over is the Chinese tallow tree. They were actually imported for their seed oil in the 1920s through the 1940s, and the wax was used for making candles, which is why it's called a tallow tree. But the Forestry Commission of Arkansas has now deemed it a pest and is trying to eradicate it. Another tree that is very, very distinctive and is very invasive because they grow very quickly and they end up choking out other native species is the mimosa or the silk tree. It's very, they're very pretty in the spring. They put off these little pink little flowers, that are great for pollinators. I like having them around because of the bees, the butterflies, the hummingbirds. Love them. But their saplings wind up everywhere and come up really fast. There's a huge variety of trees all over Arkansas, which is one of the greatest natural resources of this state. Maybe now you can go out and learn some more about the trees that are in your backyard or at the park.